Today's episode of This Week in MMO is brought to you by The Crew. For 20% off on your pre-order, make sure to go over to gboffer.com/thecrew.
Game Breaker TV.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to This Week in MMO, episode 199, August 21st, 2014. Gary again, you're watching Game Breaker TV. Got some MMO stuff to talk about today. Joining me, as always, Mr. Troy Blackburn, Dude Fridge. What's up, buddy?
What's going on? Hello, Internet.
It's your birthday.
It is my birthday. I'm a year older today. I'm getting old.
Happy
It's all
birthday.
downhill from here. Thank you very much.
So you want to know something funny?
36, because I'm sure somebody's going to ask. 36. I'm old, yes.
So guess what?
What?
You and my wife share the same birthday.
Oh, well, we're in good company with each other then.
It's her birthday today, too.
Happy birthday to
honey.
her as well.
No, she's not watching this show. I can tell you that right now. But happy birthday. And joining us as well, Mr. JK Cake, Justin Kennedy. What's up, brother?
Just eating some of the cake that Troy got us for his birthday.
Oh, there's cake. I didn't get cake.
Yeah.
What
Wait
the
a minute.
F?
Wait a minute. It's my birthday. I'm a fat guy, and I didn't get cake.
This is from you,
Something's
Troy.
wrong with this
You told me you were sending Gary some cheesecake yourself.
Oh,
I don't want cheesecake. Don't you remember this? No cheesecake. No cheesecake.
cheesecake is on the way. Gannon loves it.
How am I wearing this today? Look at this.
Ooh.
Firefall.
Not
Is
talking
it
about
one of their
Firefall.
birthdays too?
No. No.
Like Beta 3 birthday maybe, or 4 or
Beta
1? I don't
9.
know.
Oh, wow.
So, all right, let's talk about some MMOs. This week, we've got a bunch of stuff on the docket, as well as we can talk about a bunch of Oculus Rift stuff. I don't know, when do you guys want to do that? You want to do it now or you want to do it later?
Snuck
We'll
it out.
talk about this WildStar stuff first if you want to.
Yeah, that's
This
kind
is-
of big news. So
I
let's
got
talk
a
about
feeling
the
there's
WildStar.
some people who's going to be upset. So
I don't think they should be upset about this. I think they should actually be
they
happy about
shouldn't
this.
be. No, are they going to be? Yes.
Yes, they are going to be. So WildStar abandons the monthly update pace that they were releasing content. We always thought that this whole idea of trying to pump out monthly content is crazy. I still don't know how the Guild Wars 2 team was doing it. I think they were sort of following that pace. I don't even understand. Like, I mean, I guess to the gamer, it sounds like it's great, but I have to just imagine that internally, it's just got to be like utter chaos to try and make this happen. And so they're
Especially
gonna,
size of updates that they've been putting out. They've been putting out gargantuan things. We ain't talking like, here's a couple of new things this month and a couple of new things. They've been putting out some massive stuff. So I mean, it was just, the more you look at what they were putting out, you just think to yourself, well, man, that's really ambitious. Can they really keep this up? And the answer, of course, long term is no, they can't keep that up.
Well, if they had even
Zero.
tried, if they had tried to do that, and they had somehow managed it all year to release that amount of content every month, that would have been like 3 or 4 expansions worth. Like there was the content would have been so huge. I mean, there's no way they're getting that much expansion content out in a couple months. That's what it felt like.
Well, let's be honest. These
That's
first 2 updates they put out, a lot of other games would call that an expansion.
Destiny.
seriously, that would.
Yeah.
That would. That last patch would be an expansion for some games. I don't know. I feel for MMO developers. I say it's so funny because every time I'm at like a conference or having beers with them, I say it to them all the time. Like, I don't know why you guys do what you do. You could make your life so much easier. Like, go make some FPS games or RTS or they're just stuck in such almost like a corner that they have to kind of try and do things like this because MMO players gobble up content so freaking fast, more than like anything else, and they just want more. So. Well, this was the quote.
We're also in the age of free-to-play, so you have to have reasons to justify that monthly sub, and this is one of the things that games that come out that want to try to come out with the monthly sub, they always pitch, here's what your monthly sub is paying for, monthly updates, and it just doesn't usually work out that way. It's hard to crank out that much content that quick and do it with quality.
It also begs the question on whether this the recent earnings report that came out and whether the funding possibly for development has decreased for them, and maybe they had expected a much higher staffing in order to push the development of this content, and now they're having to work with us with a smaller staff than they were planning to. So you wouldn't be able to push out content that fast.
Yeah, I don't think we'd ever know that. I don't know if they're going to tell us that, and we won't know that, but that's definitely a possibility. I don't know. I feel like I, as a gamer, would much rather have some time in between and get good quality stuff and not sort of expect, like, I don't know, when they set up these expectations, the MMO community, especially the ones watching this show, they're just like salivating watching their watch, like, all right, it's 11:58. Hey, Carbine, you got 2 minutes. It's coming. It's gonna be midnight. You better drop that badge. Yep. And I don't think that's fair. Like, I don't think that's fair. It's just that's just too aggressive.
It's not fair, and especially for this game that has already launched with twice the amount of other MMOs we see trying to launch with. I mean, there's so many different things for you to do in the game. So maybe your specific content that you like, meeting your specific playstyle, maybe you completed all that. But there's so many other things you can go play that you have yet to complete in that game. And maybe by that point, a new thing of content will come out for you.
But they said it was going to be monthly, Justin. They said it was going to be monthly. They said it. Now my $15
it's written
back.
in gold, and it's unbreakable. I pact with the devil. But how many? Seriously, like Justin was saying, how many games launch with things like player housing?
None.
I mean, that's usually
Not
you're
many.
here for years and years. It's coming. It's coming. We promise it's coming.
But it customized player housing, because a lot of them who even launch with it or come with it later on, it's like, here's your 3 styles of houses. Buy it and stand in it. You got
2 hooks to hang your picture on. Congratulations, you have 1 picture to choose from with 2 hooks.
So here's the quote from Gamescom. Said, originally our idea was to have a really aggressive post-launch schedule, just constantly provide stuff for our players so that there's always things for you to do. Now that we've put out 2 of our updates, our schedule is still planned out. We decided to work on the upcoming patch, which is Defile, until it's a really good quality state. We do know that we want it to come out in the next few months. Instead of saying that we have this hard deadline that's going to come out no matter what, we're going to take the time to make sure that the quality is there. So
I think this is also,
like, that quote tells everything. It's just not there. Like that, you know what I mean? And hey, it's not ready. So what do you want to do? You want to just put it out to be a pile of poop? No.
I think this comes on the heels of the recent PvP patch as well. Like, that huge update came out, and and to all the PvP players like myself, it was supposed to be the glory patch. It was supposed to be it's finally fixed, let's play. Except for it didn't, and they've already come out with all these other PvP changes that they're going to be making now to make adjustments and fixes. And I'm wondering if that deadline they created for themselves of this monthly thing forced their hand to not test stuff enough and not get to try enough things, and they released haphazardly without the best situation for PvP. And they're seeing that right now in this past month with all the changes they've already said that they're going to be working on and looking at changing as well. So it's just a reality of it. Testing takes time. Especially if you got internal testing and then you've got the public test server, and then you're going to launch it. I mean, there's no way you're getting that done every single month on a new entire piece of content.
And in the long term, this is going to be better for the game. They're going to have time to create quality and, like Justin said, test it and make sure it's working the way they intend it to work. And this is going to be better for the long term of the game. I mean, the content that comes out is going to be healthier. You're not going to get something every single month, but you're still doing better than certain other games out there who have gone, 9 months, 10 months now between any sort of significant content update.
I wasn't gonna say who it was, but yeah.
Yeah. We'll just leave that. We'll just leave that alone. You know who that is, but it's better. It's gonna be better, and it's gonna be easier on the devs, and they don't have to push the boundaries of the budget or the time limit, and they're gonna get you quality content, and you're still probably gonna get, just me guessing, you're probably gonna get something every 2 to 3 months still. And it's going to be, huge and big. It's just not going to be these humongous updates every single month.
Here's the biggest thing there now. Now they have to worry about when they release it now, it better be good.
Yeah.
It can't have bugs. You can't have the mistakes. Like if they did this with the PvP stuff and they launched it like it was, then it wouldn't be acceptable as much anymore. Like I know they pushed it and they forced themselves
to an extent. I'll agree with.
Well, yeah,
that.
it
But
can't
man,
be
it's an
crazy,
MMO.
but I mean,
everything's gonna have bugs. I mean, World of Warcraft is still trying to figure out PvP. So I mean,
so still trying to figure out what a bug is.
Yeah, so I don't know, this is the life of the MMO. They're never done. They're just living, working things that just keep happening. So, all right, let's move on. Let's talk about the SOE reveals what's going on in EQ Landmark with death weapons and player versus players in PvP. Now, is this news? I assume this was out of the SOE Live conference that came last week.
Yes, I think this launched this week actually.
So what's going on here? So what are they showing us? These abilities
you can
from
die
items?
now. So up to this point, Landmark's been nothing but a crafting game and building game. Run around the world, mine stuff, craft and build your houses or whatever you want to create. And now they're adding in 3 different types of weapons: the Conjurer's Staff, the Soldier's Blade, and the Marksman's Bow. And they're going to add in each of these items have 2 abilities on it. It's your primary ability and an alternate ability. And now people can use this and actually fight each other. And death is added into the game, so PvP's in the game. And along with it is new gear that affects your abilities and affects your how you do fight in combat. And now there's monsters as well. So the world is actually dangerous. You're going to have to take these weapons and fight things as you go and explore caves.
And now Ganon gets even more confused why there's going to be another game.
Because this is the beta test for EQ Next. If you don't care a whole lot for Landmark because it is a crafting building game, but you're interested in what's coming in EQ Next, it's time to start paying attention to Landmark, because this is all very simple, very basic stuff, but this is absolutely 100% the groundwork for what's going to be happening in EQ Next. This is the very basic ideas coming into play. He's, Jordan flat out said, jump in, try it out. This is how we're putting it in, but we're more than willing to listen to you guys and your feedback about the combat, and you let us know. This is the groundwork for what's coming for combat in EQ Next, the very, very, very basic alpha version of what it's going to be, but this is the time you start paying attention, because this is your time to input and say, hey, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, because this is going to affect what comes out in the game that you are interested in.
Now, what really drives me here is the fact that this whole idea of building stuff in EverQuest Next, not EverQuest Next Landmark, EverQuest Landmark, or just Landmark, whatever they call it now, and building stuff in Landmark and having that come over to EverQuest Next, this makes me wonder if people are going to be able to create, because they added in new items to be able to make PvP arenas and stuff. So you're going to be able to design entire arenas with respawn points and spawn points and these new items called teleporters, flingers, and moving platforms, and be able to design these entire arenas for PvP purposes. And that'd be really cool if they actually made that unique and people could have their entire PvP arenas transferred over into the MMORPG EverQuest Next.
Okay, so just to get this straight, this PvP doesn't happen just in the open world. This is only within arenas that the player has to create.
They didn't specifically say, but they have taught in the past that you can flag your land as PvP enabled. So I think it's the assumption that the PvE does occur out there in the world, and so you're gonna have to fight monsters and stuff with these weapons and things. But as far as PvP goes, I think it has to be on an enabled piece of land that you have control over.
I mean, the addition of combat certainly, obviously, makes Landmark now a bit more interesting, right? I mean, it creates a new dynamic. Is there any sort of purpose at this point, or is it just super, super alpha, like, hey, we're just going to give you 2 abilities to kind of sling some glowies at each other and somebody's going to fall down and break some stuff, and that's about it. But you can't, like, what I'm getting at here is, well, because Landmark is, there's no looting or anything. I mean, that which would make sense, though, because Landmark is so about resources, and if you're going to do some PvP stuff, you might as well, like, fight people over that, that tree branch they just chopped down, right?
Yeah, I think the PvP side of it is simply a for fun situation right now, and for those who are working on designing possibly arenas or stuff like that for it. For the PvE side, though, it is part of the game, and it's a real part of the game of having to now, when you're going out there and collecting resources, you're going to have to fight these monsters who might, I don't know, turn out to be resources themselves.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
that's a nice
definitely not going to
twist.
turn their big open world crafting building game into a giant PvP arena. I don't see that happening at all.
No. Well, that's definitely a nice addition. So now, tell me a little bit about the gear stuff here. So gear is going to it's now affecting your movement speed and abilities and things like that.
Yeah, I mean it's I guess the same as gear in most other games. I mean, you have your kind of light armor type gear that might boost up your ability power and a lot, or you've got a medium
is it
set of armor
statted
that
gear?
somehow allows you to move fast. It didn't. I mean, I believe there is going to be some kind of stat relation because you can craft better gear.
I don't recall them specifically saying anything about stats right now. They were mostly talking about
Effect.
movement and stuff at the moment, I believe, and something about like the heavy armors, like what you're showing right now for up close combat, obviously. So it's probably got some stats on it. Probably, I would imagine it's maybe 1 or 2 stats right now. Just like the weapons, they have like 2 abilities on them. They're probably going to start out with very basic stats. This is obviously for heavy melee, the sort of tank type role, and these are for the casters. But I can't imagine there's going to be like 8 or 10 different stats on there for a while.
Okay, well, next up, they showed a little bit off in the keynote with actually some monsters. So here we've got the white wisp, the red wisp. So we've got some wisps. We got wisps.
I was hoping they were going to continue on and have 40 different flavors of Wisp and just be a play on Mass Effect.
I mean, this is nice. I mean, this is definitely at least starting to get the world to feel a bit more alive. Because I gotta say, like, I fell off a bit with the Landmark. I'm not a huge world building kind of person. I have an account. I played it a bunch. I was like, oh, this is really cool. It's got, I love the voxel stuff, and it looks really good, and you can create some really interesting things. But I didn't really feel the need to keep going in there and like live in this world because I didn't want to just keep building stuff. So this kind of makes it much more interesting.
I think they are trying to bring that more Minecraft, the survival side of it, into the game. I mean, because you can definitely die now. Before you couldn't die, so now if you fall off a deep area and hit down, you're gonna die. So you better learn not to fall, which could drive builders nuts. People who build and stuff and were liking just being able to jump up to somewhere real quick and do something and jump down. It's might be annoying to those who are looking for that side of the for their enjoyment, but overall, it creates a much more diverse field of options for people to play.
That sort of brings up the question: at what point do they start adding stuff in where they're trying to get ready for EQ Next? That the people who are playing Landmark and enjoying Landmark for what it is, they go, okay, stop. We don't want any more of your EQ Next stuff in our game. We like this the way it is.
That's a good question. I mean,
who knows? I mean, yeah. I think we've always been wondering where the crossover starts and ends. We just don't really know.
Where will they make the line that's going to end up separating this from EQ Next? Because right now, we're still adding things that eventually we're going to see in EQ Next. But where does that line get drawn somewhere along the way that's really going to keep these two games separate from what they are?
Do you think there just won't be a line and there will be one game? Do you think there's any possibility that they just will
of just merging it?
Just
this server's the full creative server. This server's is the story-based server.
I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them. I still find it confusing that there's 2. I don't know why, especially now, like in this beta test period. I know they've tried to explain it to me like a million times. They've said on the show like I don't get it, and they're all just like, all right, let us explain it to you. I get it, but without the other game, it's just like, especially with them adding more and more stuff like this, that is definitely going to be in EQ into Landmark. It's like, okay, well, all right. Well, I mean, just it's like you're turning this world into the game.
And they showed us off more stuff from EverQuest Next. They showed off the new class with the Night Elves. They brought them in, not class, but new race with the Night Elves, working on choosing a class. In EverQuest Next, they have several abilities specific to their weapon setup, depending on what weapon combination they go with, be it sword and shield and sword, or some kind of conjurer staff or something. But they have multiple abilities in there, so it's not like they already have that playground created over there too. They just simplified it for for Landmark.
Last episode, there's a bunch of new items going in the game: teleporters, flingers, like moving platforms, things like that. So definitely, I think if you have an account and you haven't logged in a while, have they implemented this in the patch yet?
I think it was this week. I think it might have been yesterday.
So you might as well check the site, and now might be a good time to jump back in the old landmark, see what's going on there. Definitely getting interesting. They talk about any dates on the EQ side?
Nope.
No,
Nothing
on that. Yeah.
A lot of H1Z1 rage. What's going on over there?
It's coming out on PS4.
I know, that was pretty big news. That was pretty surprising.
And I guess they didn't say they were going to launch them separately either, so it sounds like they're just going to launch them at the same time. So I guess they're working on both. But
can't wait to see.
There's not much more.
Console.
They just did a huge Q&A.
Yeah, you sound so excited there, Troy. PS4 hater.
I don't know. I mean, if you're a PC person and you've been like looking forward to this, do you not just feel like, oh well, they're working on a console version too? I guess I'll just be waiting that much longer for this. Because I mean, surely some of that development kind of goes right along with each other. But at some point, that's just extra work for a whole different console like that. So you're
I think on the PS4, I think it might be a little bit different since it's more like a pretty hopped up PC than anything else ever before. But yeah, there's obviously some extra. Who knows? We'll see. I gotta want to see the H1Z1, see what they're gonna pull off here. All right, take a quick second. Talk about a sponsor. Not really a sponsor, but yeah, our sponsor sort of. But if you guys are looking to check out the CarPG, that's the MMORPG around car racing, which looks really cool. We've talked about it a bunch on this show. I think almost everybody here on this panel wants to play this game. It's called The Crew. It's coming out quite soon. I don't know the date. What's the date on this game? Do we know the date?
November 9th, I think.
November 9th. So it's right around the corner here. And we've got a deal for The Crew. If you're going to pre-order it, lock it in right now and get 20% off, which is a good amount. What, like $12, something around there. I think you're going to save like $12 if you pre-order it. So it's not like $1. It's like a good chunk of money. That's like another game. Catch a sale, that's like 2 more games. You can go like buy 2 games with that. Skyrim today was $4. You see that?
Yeah, so if you don't have Skyrim already, you need to get it now.
Seriously. Skyrim, I don't think most people know how good Skyrim still looks with all the mods. I have mine all modded out. It looks incredible. And they're super easy to mod. It's not even like a pain in the butt. Anyway, if you guys are going to buy The Crew, which is the CarPG, like I said, it's an MMO with car racing. Check it out, and we have 20% off if you pre-order. Just go to gboffer.com/thecrew, and it'll give you a link there and tell you the coupon code there to save 20% off on your checkout. So go check it out. The other thing out of Gamescom, the big, I'm not even going to play them, but oh my God, there's so many. What we get? 6 Star Citizen trailers.
Yeah.
I mean, just showing just anything that you could want to see. Here's a little bit of it in a trailer. It was so many that whenever you load up the post that we put up that's got all the minute, it takes a second. It's just like, oh, so many videos.
So
they're just giving you everything.
This story trailer interested me. Like, I guess they're kind of getting out there and getting that story feeling of the world out there to us now, and it's a pretty good looking trailer for CGI. So
it looks great
really good with it.
And it does. I think it kind of like it really sets up like, so I forget the name of this planet, but this is going to be an explorable, this is sort of like trying to tie into the explorable side of Star Citizen where you're going to find stuff. And obviously there's alien life form and who knows where it's going to go from there. But this one in particular, if you want to watch any of them, you don't want to watch all 6 and like maybe Star Citizen is sort of on your map, but not. This one is definitely worth watching. It definitely got me psyched up. And I patched my Star Citizen client really quickly and jumped in and played Arena Commander. So it got me excited.
Yeah, this one gets you into the world. If you're looking for, like, what is the world of Star Citizen, what's the background behind that lore, like, this one just kind of gets that feeling to you of you just exploring the space and out there looking for new planets to live on and stuff.
There's a bunch of other stuff that they reeled in the keynote. You can watch the whole hour keynote, and they're updating all the hangars. If you guys are backers, the 2013 hangar, which is what we've currently had, is getting completely revamped. And there's actually multiple hangars now by different industries with different looks. You're going to get to choose which one you want. One's kind of like in like a cave area. One's the industrial kind of looking one that we have sort of now. And then one's really sort of like white and clean and high end, and it looks really cool. Definitely got people really psyched up here. But what's the deal with this crazy new stretch goal thing? What's this all about? With this, there's going to be a position.
It's for it's the role player's dream job.
It's going to be a position at Star Citizen for someone, right?
Yeah, and they basically are they are a role player in the game essentially, handling disputes between players.
So that what's the stretch goal on this?
You want, but you don't really.
Yeah, it sounds like it's an RP community manager. So deal with all the complaints. But what's the stretch goal on this? How do you get this job?
I actually forget what that stretch goal is.
So it's like they're going to hit a certain number, I assume, of a new stretch goal number.
I think it's like 53.
53 or something. I think it's like 53 million. And then there's going to be a position open. Interesting. So you're going to mediate disputes amongst players. Here's the quote. It says, have you been wronged by your superiors? Has the member of your organization entrusted with watching the funds been
Would you like to be the most hated person in this game?
Yeah, really. Well, you're an RP. You can change your name. Think you don't have any recourse? You're wrong. Fully licensed and bonded to work within the UEE and beyond. The Independent Arbitrators Guild allows citizens and civilians, we don't discriminate, to file complaints against or within private organizations. Petition cases with our IAG representative, which is that position, to have your voice heard and restitutions made. Is your business less than legitimate? IAG is only here to judge the matters you want us to. Confidentiality is guaranteed. So if you don't get what I'm doing, everything that they do with Star Citizen is RP. So if you go to the website, all of their posts are in RP. So anything like this, any kind of news is going to be RP. So it's written sort of like a, business corporation thing. I mean, it's perfect. It's actually really cool. And it's like totally what this community just absolutely loves.
It sounds fantastic. It sounds like it would be a lot of fun if you're really into that sort of thing.
And like you said, it's basically the role play community manager. Like this this position right here lets any role player fan know that this game is actually supporting your role playing. Like there's a lot of other games that there's role player communities always like, well, is there role play support? Is there role play servers? Are there role play rules or anything like that? Like the game is designed for you. We have a position in our company for that community, and it's really what that says right there in your face. Basically, is we are here for the role players.
Yeah, I'm super psyched for Star Citizen. I've backed it. I've got my 300i. I've stared at it a bunch. I've tried the Arena Commander bit. I'm having some graphic glitches, but I'll work that stuff out.
I was going to ask you, have you played, since you said the gameplay was a little mediocre, have you had a chance to have there many tweaks to that?
So you know what? I think I got to go back. I'm going to go back and do some research because I think I might be having some control issues. I think I might have given it a little bit of a hard time because I've also got another issue when I log in sometimes, and if I have my flight stick hooked up, it just completely spins in circles. So there's something obviously going on, so I need to work that out.
You might want to wait till they add in I don't know if they've added in yet, the new module racing that's going in. It's part of the
that's in 0.9, which is the next big update that's coming. Is they're going to have racing, which is part of it. That was in the presentation, which looks like a lot of fun. They also do that FPS. Yeah, so they show a little bit of ground, like combat, which I don't think really many people fully expected. I still don't know what it's going to be like. I don't get it. Is it going to be like full on FPS?
It is. Like I'm hoping like if you're going down to a land that you haven't explored yet and somebody else is exploring it, maybe you can get out of your ship and go through it and take them out and claim whatever resources are there.
No idea, but that sounds great. I like the way you're thinking there, JK.
Just gank all the fools.
Gank everybody.
You're gonna follow a ship, but not shoot it down. Let it find a piece of land, land behind it, and take them out.
I got an Oculus Rift over the past week. Sent one over. We got the DK2, and I was trying to get the Star Citizen to work with it, but unfortunately, it does not work with DK2 as of yet. Nobody's found any fixes, so I don't have that one running. I have been playing absolutely everything I can possibly get my hands on, though, with the Oculus Rift, including Elite Dangerous, which it's just unbelievable. Like it's truly like it's funny. No, it's like my wife who doesn't really play games and stuff. Like I stuck it on her and I was like, here, you have to try this. You shouldn't try Elite. You tried something else, which is more of a demo. And I don't think there's ever been a device that you could like sit somebody down and like put something on them and like to like have an experience with something, and it literally just blows their mind. Like their mind is just blown. Like the first second DK1 didn't do it for me so much, but as soon as you turn and I'm talking about Dev Kit 1 and Dev Kit 2, the new Dev Kit with the camera and the motion tracking with your head mounted display is truly like on another level, because now when you move your head, like how it tricks your brain and what it does is just, it's magical. It's like it's magic. It's just like heretics, basically.
I know sometimes you can suffer a little bit from like some of the motion sickness. How did that feel for you?
So I think they're gonna work it out. Surprisingly, I had less nausea than I thought I was going to, and it really depends on what I'm demoing. Things with elevation up and down definitely bother me. So the roller coaster stuff, I can go straight, I can go backwards, I can go left, right. Anything that kind of does this and goes up and down definitely bothers me. That, and I guess it's just weird. It's like give and take. Like you could just put one demo on and like it totally not bother you. And I played Elite Dangerous for like probably like an hour, with it on. It was fine. Totally fine. But then I could throw in another demo and I 10 seconds into it. I'm just like, nope, just take it off. Nope, that's not going to work. So.
Well, you already enjoy Elite Dangerous. Did Oculus Rift make your experience so much better that it would be worth purchasing an Oculus Rift for?
Yes, and yes. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like if you have a joystick and a throttle thing, which I'm a nerd, I do. So I got a joystick and the throttle, and you put the head mounted thing on, and then you got voice attack hooked up so you can talk all your voice comms to it. It's ridiculous. Like it's just a totally different experience. The only thing that sucks right now about it is the menu system is a little hard to read. They got to work that stuff out because it's just like they're really thin lines. They're hard. But just once you're in space and then you just like look around and you just look into the blackness of space and just see the planets and like it's unbelievable. And the one thing that blew my mind, how you can turn almost completely around 180 degrees and it knows you're looking behind you and you can look out the back of the ship. Like you could have the camera here and basically just turn your head like this and just look behind you, look down. Like you can just look down and there's like, you can just see space. It's pretty fantastic. I got to say, if you go to a conference and they have it hooked up and you can try it, definitely try it, especially Elite Dangerous. I think it's probably, there's a ton of demos. There's less stuff right now for the new development kit because it's brand new. So everybody's trying to port everything over. So there's a lot of stuff that's not working yet. But I would say if you go to a conference and they've got, if Frontier's there with Elite, definitely give it a go and test drive it because it's cool.
Did you get to try any other games with it, or is it mostly that and then just a bunch of others, sort of the tech demo stuff that comes with it?
A lot of tech demo stuff. I don't know of any other like full games that are supporting it completely. Like just I didn't try like Minecraft. I don't know if it's up for DK2. I tried a couple things that are going to look really interesting, but one of them did bother me with a little bit of motion sickness. I can't remember the name of it, but it was basically RPG-ish, almost what you'd imagine like what playing an MMO would be like World of Warcraft or something. And I gotta say, if it didn't make me nauseous, which again, it doesn't mean that every game's going to make you nauseous. It has to do with like the field of view and like different things in the game. But MMO players are not going to want to play games other ways. I mean, of course, you can't look behind you. So PvP people are like, I got a third person and look out. But like feet on the ground with this thing on and you're walking through like the woods of like, it's a completely different experience. I mean, you're like there. You can't see anything else. You're plopped in the middle of the world. You're not looking at this flat screen in front of you anymore. Like you're looking around and everything. You're fucking looking up at trees and down holes. And like, it's pretty amazing. It's like such a completely different experience. I think MMO players are going to absolutely love it when they perfect it.
It sounds like I really, really need one to play some first-person horror survival. That
is going to scare the shit out of you. So that is the one genre I have. I'm afraid. I'm afraid to download any of them because there was one demo that had one little like scary moment in it where like it's really cool and it all works on like your sight line. So when you look around, when you look back, all of a sudden this car comes screeching at you and almost hits you. And I was like, holy fuck! Like you jump out of the way. But the horror stuff is going to be awesome for people who like that stuff. I don't know if I'm going to do it.
Man, can you imagine playing like the Outlast game, trying to play Outlast?
I was just talking about Outlast with Q earlier too. Like the first big jump scare of the game, I'd seen a video on it. I knew it was coming, and I stopped as I got ready to walk in that door, and I turned the corner. I'm like, okay, Troy, we're turning the corner. It's going to happen. Oh shit! What just happened? I knew it was going to be there. Why did I jump?
Well, what I can see
with the Oculus, you're gonna break your gear. Your mic's gonna go flying. Like
I always think you're gonna have to like build a computer that doesn't use monitors or whatever. Just move it away. Move your monitors away from you.
You're gonna need to clear some space.
I don't know, but I'm just thinking like those walls, like in any horror game or any investigation game even, where you like look for stuff on the walls and there's sometimes writing and stuff like there. Like I could just see like being completely looking at it, just like your hand trying to go out to touch it. Like
I've done that. I've totally put my hand out. I've totally like just your brain just wants to like you're in the world. It's literally it's really like a magical experience. There's another game that I'm just starting to demo, and it's in beta and it's called Technolust, and it actually looks really cool. It's very Blade Runner-esque. And I don't even know what you do in it yet. I just got it late last night and tried it for like 2 seconds and I had to run out. But it's like, again, it's like this really like sci-fi Blade Runner vibe and plops you in this room. And it's like, man, you're in this room, man. And when you're like, you just move your head the slightest little, millimeter, it knows. And that's what it tricks your brain. You're in the middle of this thing, man. It's fantastic.
See, what I think is truly going to make it though is the people who come up with actual good third-party accessories to go along with this, regarding the hands, regarding some other form of movement along with it. I think those will it's awesome on its own, but I think that will truly create the best experience for a lot of people.
I will honestly be happy with the Xbox controller. Like some of them use that, and even that's just great. Like some of them still use keyboard and mouse, and those are tough. They got to get away from the keyboard and mouse because it's really hard to, you're like, oh, my hand moves away. I got to like find it and stuff. But
at the end of the day, even no matter how good you are on a keyboard, you always end up looking down every now and then.
Yeah. So flight sticky kind of stuff is going to be really good. Like Elite Dangerous is fantastic, and it's like made for the Rift. Star Citizen, I imagine, will be the same. It's going to be great. Yeah, no, I think now with Facebook money, I mean, I'm a full believer, especially for MMO players. I mean, I'm going to see if I can I think World of Warcraft was working with DK1. I'll see if I can find somebody who could help me get it up and running on DK2. Because I almost can't imagine you not wanting to play an MMO like this now, especially with other people around in a virtual world and see them running around. Like the perspective, everything changes. Like you're down on the ground. Like you're not this far camera out watching you're down. You're a player in the world.
Here's what I foresee right now: Facebook to MMO, the new Second Life.
Hey, I'm in.
Doctor Strange.
Pretty sure there are some horror movies about that.
So let's see. Speaking of WoW, we talked a week or two ago about Robin Williams' death. So the tribute for Robin Williams, I believe is already in game. I believe it's in the beta of WoD. Correct? He's a genie.
It's got to be somewhere because it's in the files at least. People are.
I was going to say it was determined by Wowhead, so I don't know if it's technically in the alpha or the beta or whatever yet. But these came up. They discovered them in the files of the latest update, and surprise, surprise, the first one they found was a genie.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Then when you go down there's one that sort of looks like it's supposed to be probably Mork from Mork and Mindy, and I think the assumption right now for the female that is sort of tagged with the Robin name is probably some sort of Mrs. Doubtfire reference, and people have said, oh, they should have come up with something totally original. They're using these rehashed models for this. At the end of the day, what's going to make this NPC and really make this tribute are going to be the dialogue. It's going to be what it says, the jokes, the references to some of his work in his life. That's what's going to be what makes this this tribute great in the long run. It's not going to matter what character model it is. It's fun that he's a genie, but what he says is what's going to matter the most, because at the end of the day, that's what Robin Williams was about.
All right, last up this week. It's a game probably maybe very few out there know about. It's called Pantheon. I guess this went and hit Kickstarter a few months ago. It had a goal of 800,000 on Kickstarter. Did not make it. And I guess they're still going forward with it. But what's the news on this? I mean, what's the draw, Pantheon? First of all, like what are they trying to do here?
People who have not progressed into the new age.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything about this that screams throw money at me, which I guess is why when it was on Kickstarter, it did not have money thrown at it.
It's the old MMO crowd, and that still want the old MMO and all of its old systems, and nothing changed from.
Yeah, I was going to say the closest thing that Larry compared it to in the article was Brad McQuaid's old game Vanguard that is shut down now. Does it even exist anymore? Is it already shut down? Shutting down? One way or another, it's old school that nobody seems to want to play anymore, but yet there still seems to be this group out there that thinks people want to play that. It's fun to build niche games.
I gotta go on the other side and say that there is a community of players who do want these kind of games, just not a huge crowd, but you've got Shroud of the Avatar with Lord British. I mean, that's another one where he's going pretty old school in his like methodologies of like designing the game. It's like Ultima kind of style of stuff, and I assume that's where this one's going as well. So they released some screenshots. I don't know if this one's gonna make it. I don't know. It sounds
I mean, like I was saying, it's okay to build a niche game. That's fine. There's an audience for that, but you can't build a game for you and your 8 buddies because you need more people than that to play it. So I mean, you've got to have a wider spread audience than just this group of people you hang around. This is what they think was cool. I'm all for niche games. Specialize, find something that your audience really likes and specialize in it. But you have to have an audience first that's going to want to play it. And it's just sounding more and more like there's maybe not that big of an audience out there for whatever it is he's pushing with this.
Gotta push. All right, Troy Blackburn, follow him on Twitter at Noobfridge, NOOBFRIDGE. Happy birthday to you, sir.
It's my birthday. Follow me.
Birthday, follow him on Twitter. JKK, follow him on Twitter at JK. He's having cake for your birthday, except he's not sharing it. JK Kennedy TV, and of course right here on TWIMMO every week. Follow me, Gary Gannon. Go over to GameBreaker TV on Facebook at facebook.com/GameBreakerTV. Make sure to check out our deals page, GameBreaker.tv/deals. And if you're looking for a free-to-play MMO, check out freetoplay.tv. Freetoplay.tv. If you're looking for an MMO guild to join, go over to thegamebreakernation.com. Go join the Gamebreaker Nation. Yes. And if you are a YouTuber or a live streamer, you're looking to monetize your content and offer your audience some amazing, great deals, saving them money on games that they will love you long time for, go check out GameBreakerMedia.com. All right, we do the show live on Thursdays, but we're switching today. Should we announce that now? Because we did decide it's for realsies, right? Like for real. I gave you guys another week. I didn't even talk about it because I wanted to make sure that you guys were like totally. We're switching today, right?
Wednesday?
Yes.
Is it official? I thought it was dependent on whether or not you got the job. Did you get the job?
I don't know yet.
Okay, so let's wait. All right, nothing's official.
Regardless, it would just all that means is that it would have to be at a later hour for me. But that is just a later hour. But
all right, then we'll wait till another time to announce it. So we don't know when we're going to do the show. Thursday.
We haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
As usual, we have no idea what's going on, ladies and gentlemen.
Watch Twitter.
There you go. Watch Twitter. All right. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.